Hello there, my name is Form, and this is Formcast episode 60 something. I'm starting to forget again the number of episodes that we have reached. Getting closer to 100, though, which means that's pretty crazy because for the most part, except a couple weeks, I'm pretty sure I've uploaded a podcast once a week, consecutive weeks, and that means that's a lot of weeks, a lot of episodes, a lot of recordings, a lot of random thoughts. Thank you so much for listening. You are listening to this episode as I am 100% on an airplane to Florida. I'm recording this on Sunday, and if you were to listen to this episode this week, which is going to be March 27th, you'll also be listening to the next week, the following week episode on the same day I record it, because I'm not bringing anything to Florida to record podcasts, and I didn't want to let you guys go without a week of an episode. So it's going to be a bit different recording that other one. So bear with me the next 2 weeks. I'm on vacation. Speaking of, leaving this week, Tuesday afternoon, where I live here in Canada, I don't have an airport here that's big enough to fly directly to places like Florida. So I got to drive to Toronto, which I'm sure most of you listeners have heard of Toronto, and we fly out of there. So it's a 3.5 hour drive Tuesday afternoon into the night, and then one little sleep, and then we're off to Florida the next morning. I'm very, very, very looking forward to it. Going to be streaming a little bit. I'm going to say maybe 3 days total. But that's going to be like an hour of like kind of chatting and just kind of catching up with people and sharing, what I've been up to by the poolside type thing, and very quick things, and back to enjoying the rest and relaxation that I've come to terms with that I actually truly, truly, truly do need and deserve. So it's going to be fun. That being said, I want to quickly talk about things like games. Recently, one of my community members, a great supporter of mine, has decided to give me a bunch of games on Steam. Now, these games range from anything from a difficult game about climbing, and if you've never played it, that's exactly what it's called, a difficult game about climbing. And yes, it's difficult, and yes, it made me rage quit. And when you pause the game, it says rage quit. So it's bound to happen. But what I'm coming to this topic with is because I have such an array of video games. For example, Forza Horizon 5 now, Red Dead Redemption 2, even FIFA, Resident Evil. We just completed Resident Evil 7, which is actually really, really creepy game, but very well done. So I was happy to be able to play that one. Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil 2, I believe, was on the list. Things such as GTFO, which is like a horror kind of strategy game. There's a whole bunch of them, right? Outlast 2. There's just a lot. My thing is, as a streamer, and if you guys don't know this, I was never a huge gamer before I started streaming. My experience in gaming, like I think most teen boys and teen ladies out there, was playing with my friends on occasion. I used to play Call of Duty a lot with my friends on the old Xbox type thing. Used to play a couple single player games, Assassin's Creed, Xbox 360 days, but that's going back to like when I was like 14, 15, 16 years old. And then as I grew up, going to school, university, all that kind of stuff, working, it kind of took a back seat to a lot of things. And I remember I was living on my own, working as a probation officer, and I would, play maybe an hour at night, maybe a couple times a week, nothing more. Then when I found streaming, obviously gaming was a primary focus. That being said, I still to this day, now I've been doing this for almost 4 years, and I still to this day don't really play video games offline. So when it comes to my opinion on what I want to play or what games are fun, what games are good, the majority of the time, I have to sit here and say, this game is good for stream. Yes or no? And that's kind of how I decide what I want to spend my time playing. Should I level this up? Should I grind it out? Should I spend any time of it offline? Should I try and make time to play it offline? There's not a lot of times I play video games, and it kind of sounds sad, and it kind of is, but not a lot of times I play video games nowadays offline for fun, for the enjoyment of pure playing the game. Now, more recently, in terms of getting into driving games, we talked about this not long ago, truck simulators and all that kind of stuff. Playing Truck Simulator offline was actually really, really relaxing. But the more you do, the longer you go, your drives are not those 30-minute ones anymore. If you do those, you don't get much money. It kind of feels pointless when you have deliveries that make you $60,000, but in real lifetime driving, you're looking at an hour, maybe an hour and a half of actual driving. So it's not something that you can do quickly, right? And offline, I don't have a lot of time. So I'm really into those games that I can come on for half an hour, something like Helldivers. But then at that point, you kind of need a squad. Doing Helldivers alone or with randoms is not as fun as people make it seem to be. So my thing is, how do I decide what I play and what I spend my time in? And what do I start streaming again? Do I change this to change that? I was a very big believer in kind of stick to one type of game, FPS shooters, driving only or whatever it is, one genre of game, I guess you can say. Otherwise, people might dip out and not be interested, and you might lose people and all that kind of stuff. Since changing from Call of Duty and Valorant and a lot of the FPS shooters, I found it a lot easier to meet new people, gain new viewers, all that kind of stuff when it comes to playing driving games and playing kind of a bit of a variety, to my surprise, I should say. So that being said, we're playing things like American Truck Sim, Need for Speed. We played Resident Evil, like I said. We played Dying Light. We finished Dying Light. So it's this wide array. I do have it structured so that certain nights, Sunday nights is scary stuff. So that's going to be when we play like zombie games or, for example, we played Slender, The Arrival recently. So stuff like that. And then, on Fridays, I'll try and play a little bit of F1 for an F1 Friday, like Formula One stuff. So I kind of have it structured that way, but it's kind of all over. Recently got into GTA RP. I always told myself I would never do GTA RP. I didn't think it would be fun, and it's an absolute blast. Now, I'm only part of one city, and I know other cities offer different things, and you can make different characters and be kind of just whoever you want. But role-playing a funny French-Canadian police officer in a city where the other officers and other habitants of the city really understand how to just have fun and create a character and create a storyline and situations that keep the viewers entertained, but also is super fun and entertaining for us who are playing in the game. So it's kind of crazy to see, but it's been very fun in terms of variety. But now I got this huge array of games, and I don't even know how to attack it. I can't even tell you where I would start first. Part of me wants to actually try FIFA. I'm not a huge football fan in terms of soccer, football, right? However, I've been watching lots of Ted Lasso lately, and playing FIFA kind of makes me think I would have a fun time playing something like FIFA. Never played a soccer game in my life, unless I played one when I was a kid a long time ago, but I forget. Maybe, FIFA Street, or did they have one of those games? I know they had an NBA and NFL Street. I forget if they had a soccer one. I think they did. Needless to say, it's really fun to be given the opportunity, obviously out of the generosity of a community member, to be gifting me games on Steam, but the opportunity to play things that I probably would never, one, spend money on, because even if it's a $10 game, I feel like I could spend that $10 somewhere else. But also play games that are, obviously the more expensive ones, like Forza Horizon 5, looking at it, it's almost $100 Canadian for me to buy. And being gifted that game, allows me to be like, you know what, let's try it out. If we don't like it, we don't like it. If we do, we do, right? Opportunity. It's food for thought for sure. So this obviously kind of puts things into a bit of a confusing moment for me, because I also want to be able to play the games because they were gifted to me, and I want to be able to say like, thank you so much for playing, gifting me this game. I played it, I tried it out, I tested it. Yeah, it was fun. No, I didn't really like this. I like that. But at the same time, it's all about, well, just that time. So maybe I got to find more time. Maybe if you know someone out there who can add a few hours to the day where we can just relax and do nothing but play video games again like I was 15 years old, well, you let me know, because I would like to invest in said opportunity. With that being said, I'm on a plane right now to Florida while you listen to this. If you listen, every Wednesday, 9 a.m., the episodes get released. They are all on YouTube. Episode 1 to 60, whatever we're at. They do get deleted off Spotify and Apple Podcasts after 2 months or so, 2 or 3 months. So if you guys want to listen all the episodes or watch them as well, and also see my weight change, because it was brought to my attention that I was a little bit chubbier around the early episodes, which is a good thing for me that I'm no longer as chubby. Feel free to subscribe to the YouTube. I really appreciate it. Thank you for downloading the podcast as well. We're nearing 200 downloads. It means a lot. The support is gratefully appreciated. Does that make sense? I think it does. All right. We'll catch you next time. Cheers.